any business logic, so this is called business logic. For any business logic, we need to learn any programming language, and for user interface, we need to learn HTML, and to save the details in the database, we need to learn SQL Server programming. So today we are going to discuss on HTML to design these controls, how to do all these controls. Okay, so with this, let's get started with HTML. So I'm not going to use any editor for HTML. You can use your Visual Studio, but let's use Notepad. So I'm going to, in my desktop, I'm going to create a new folder called HTML. Okay, in this HTML, so let me right click on this, new text document. I'm going to name this as 1.html and remove this extension. So the moment you change it to HTML, you should see that the icon will get changed to Internet Explorer or your default browser. If the icon is not changed to your default browser, that means that you are still seeing your text file. Okay, so I repeat again, the moment you change your file extension to .html, the icon for that HTML should change to your default browser. If it's not changed to your default browser, that means the file is still a text file. So to see the extensions, what you need to do is, I told this in the second class or third class. So if you want to see the file extensions, you have to go to organize and folder and search options, and you have to go to view, and you have to unselect this one. You have to unselect this one, hide the extensions for known file types. You have to uncheck this one. Okay, when you uncheck this one, you will see the extensions. Okay, if you don't uncheck this one, see what happens here. I'll check this checkbox and I'll show you the difference. So I am checking, I'm selecting this checkbox. Click on apply. Okay, click on OK. See, now I'm not seeing the file extension. So what normally students will do is, they will right click on this new text document and they will create this 1. or 2.txt, and then what they will tell me is, they will right click on this, they will do a rename, they will select rename, and they will do 2.html, and they will ask me, I renamed it but still my icon has not changed, what shall I do? So actually you renamed it to .html, you are seeing it as 2.html, but it's not a HTML file. So it will have 2.html.txt. When you do right click on this and properties, you will see that it's a text document. It's a text document. It is not a HTML file. For that, what you need to do is, you need to click on organize. So it is not showing you the extensions because I have selected the checkbox, do not show the extensions for known file types. So for that, what I need to do is, the one way to do is, you have to go to organize and folder and search options, and I need to go to view, and I need to uncheck this one, hide the extensions for known file types. I'm unchecking this, click on apply and OK. Now you will realize that okay, it is not see, now I'm seeing 2.html.txt. So if you want to rename it, you need to click on F2 and delete this .txt. Okay, now you are seeing 2.html. Okay, so this is about how to rename to .html. And the other way to do that is, right click on this new text document. I have three here. So if I want to rename this to .html, what I can do is, I can open this and then I can actually do file save as, and then I can type here I can select here all files, and I can type here 3.html in double quotes. I'm typing here 3.html and I'm doing it in double quotes. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. Select all files for sure and give 3.html in double quotes and click on save. So that will also create in HTML file. After that you can delete this old one. Okay, so just now we learned about two ways for renaming a file from txt to HTML. Okay, so once I create this HTML 1.html, I'll right click on this, open with Notepad. If you're not seeing this, right click on this, open with Notepad, you can do this way. So Windows R, open Notepad, and then drag and drop this, drag this and drop it onto the notepad. That's it. Now you can notice here that this file is one.html. Okay, let's get started with HTML. So for those who already know HTML, what is the code for a text box? Do not Google it. You should tell from whatever you know. What is the code for HTML text box? HTML text box. We don't use button for a text box. So what is the code for HTML text box? First of all, what is text box? Yeah, input type equal to text and name equal to name. Okay, perfect. Okay. So now, before getting started with this, let me ask some questions on different controls we have. So Windows R, MS Paint. Okay. So now first I have something called name in my web page, and if I want to design this, so what is this control called? Okay. So all of you, so I saw only one response. So this control we call it as text box. Okay. Now the second question. So I have here something called branch. I have to select electronics branch or computer science branch or whatever branch I have to select here. For that I have something called like this. I have something called here. So what is this is called? I am seeing response from few of you. So I'll see an option here, and the moment, so this is not a checkbox, this is called a drop down list. So the moment I click on this, I'll have multiple options. So I'll get a drop down list. So I'll see the values like this. Okay, I'll get an option to select from multiple values. So this is called a drop down list. Now the other one I'm going to ask now here, I have medium. Either it can be English or French. So what is this called? So I'll have a small circle and I can select only one option from this. So what is that is called? Yeah, this is called a radio button. So this is called a radio button. Radio button is normally used for selecting only one option from multiple options. So this is called English or French. So this is called radio button. So the first one is a text box where you will have options to enter some values, and the second one where you can select some value from multiple values, that is called a drop down list. And the third one you can only select one value from the two options, that is called a radio button. And we have something called hobbies. And in this hobbies we have options like you can select one or more option. So you will see a small box like this, and you will see some options. So this is called, what is this? Yeah, I'm not seeing the response from Jesse. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing. Okay, so this is called, so if I have one checkbox, I mean this is a checkbox, so I can write here cricket, and I can add some more options, whatever options I want. So maybe I can add one more option called chess or whatever. Okay, so the difference between radio button and the checkbox is, so here, so this is a radio button where you can select only one thing, only one option. But whereas in checkbox, either you can select this one or you can select both the options. So that is called checkbox. That is the difference between checkbox and the radio button. And then you will see one more thing called where you can enter your address. Okay, so where you can enter the address, you will see a something called a big text box. What is this one? So anyone has any idea on this? What is, so I got only one response. This is not a message box, and I got one correct response from, this is not a list box. Yeah, I got one response from Nikhil and I got one response from Padmini. Both are correct. So this is called a text area. So this is called text area. So I'll quickly summarize. So whatever you see here, so this is a text box, this is a drop down list, this is a radio button, this is a checkbox, and this one is text area. Okay, and and what will be there at the bottom? So let's assume that at the bottom of this page, so or let me put this way, so let me copy this, let me move this here, and let me move this little bit up, and let me move this here. Okay, so now I have at the bottom here, so I'll have something like this, and I'll have here, so what is this one? Yeah, so that is, yeah, all of you are correct. So that is that I'll be having some text here, so I'll have something like this save. That is a button. So this is a form. So I'll have we need to design this page right now. So by the end of this class you should be very clear in designing this in HTML. Okay, so let's get started. So we are going to design this form and pure static form, and we'll see how we can do that. Okay, so let's get started. So first I need to write here, so I need to write here name, and adjacent to that I need to write here what I'm saying here. I need a text box. So for text box the code is I need to give here input type is equal to text, and I need to give some name for all the controls. So this is called a control. So for all the controls in HTML you have to give a name for it. So you have to give a name for it, because imagine you have 3-4 text boxes, you have to differentiate between them, so you have to give a name for it. Name, I normally give like this txt, so it is a text box, so I'm giving txt as a prefix, txt, and this text box is for name, so I'm giving name. Okay, so I'll close the input tag. So this is how we need to write. So I need to give input type is equal to text for text box, and name is equal to txt name, and close the input tag. So if I save it and if I